Hey, what's up guys? It's Dom. In today's quick video, I'll be sharing with you the real cost of owning a print shop in which nobody talks about. My name is Dom. I own Whole Printing Inc. I've been in the printing industry for years. I work with many of the big corporations and my only goal is to help you on your printing journey. Without wasting any time, let's get right into today's video. So there's a lot of cost by owning a print shop. If you're not new to this channel and you've been in the printing industry for quite some time now, you're quite conscious of all of these costs that can quickly add up on a day-to-day basis, on a monthly basis, and even more on a yearly basis. Whether it's buying new equipment, consumables like ink, thread, stuff of that nature, or even just training new employees and kind of going day by day in business. There's all these subscriptions, a lot of things to take into account. So in this video, I kind of want to share insight after doing this every single day for 5 years and more, and kind of share the hidden costs that not a lot of people talk about when they're about to start their own printing journey. So let's start with the most expensive thing in my experience, which is your equipment. The reason I say most expensive in a way, it's because it's not necessarily just the equipment price, DTF printers, embroidery machines, heat presses. It's when this equipment also breaks down. So there's a cost of acquiring the equipment, there's the cost of actually training yourself, employees on that equipment, and there's the big hidden cost, which is maintenance and repairs. Let me give you an example with DTF printing. As you guys are pretty aware, I've kind of pivoted my channel away from those small DTF format printers for a few reasons. Number one is the actual time to repair them. At the beginning of my journey, I only had those printers, so I really had no choice but to learn, and by extension, I was sharing with you guys how to diagnose and how to fix your own DTF related problems when it came to those smaller printers. As I scaled and I bought bigger equipment, the hidden cost of maintenance and repairs is still there, but on a way smaller scale. Since I only have one printer, the risk is real. If it breaks down, I absolutely need to fix it. It's not always the money related to fixing the DTF printer, it's all of the time I invest. Obviously, the consumables, the print heads, the inks, they all add up, and when the printer's not running, you're not producing, so no new money is necessarily coming in unless you have other ways of making income in your print shop. So for me, equipment is one of the things that I wish people would talk about more. How expensive it is to maintain, not only money-wise and financially, but most importantly, your time. If you don't have a technician, you're the one getting on your hands and knees and fixing your equipment, spending late nights, maybe missing a few deadlines just because your equipment wasn't doing its job. So I think that's something to take into consideration. If you can, buy extra parts, learn the machine if you don't have a tech, and most importantly, if you can, put yourself in a position with the space that you have and the financials of your company, try to buy an extra piece of equipment so when one goes down, you always have a backup, that you can still simultaneously run both, but if one goes down, even though the capacity and the outcome of your productivity slows down, you're still able to produce. That would be my biggest advice if you're growing your own print shop. Always try to have extras in parts and consumables, and most importantly, if you can afford it, again, financially and space-wise, try to have that same piece of equipment in double. So when something goes wrong, it doesn't go as wrong as it could. So quickly talking about consumables, I'll skip over this generally because you are very conscious and aware of thread costs, ink costs, all the costs associated with the actual production of DTF printing or embroidery. You are not new to this whatsoever, and if you are, you can just do your own research, right? A bottle of ink costs X amount, a print head costs X amount. You have to account in a year that you're going to be using around X amount of ink, X amount of print heads if everything goes right, cross your fingers, and all the other consumables that are attached directly to your printing process. And another big thing that isn't really talked about, which I find very, very strange, is your cost of goods sold. Your ink can technically be inventory, but in most cases it's cost of goods sold until you do your end of year inventory, in which it becomes a inventory item, right? You need ink to do a sale in most cases. You won't use your whole bottle of ink in most cases for one order, but you're still using a good amount. Same thing for embroidery thread, embroidery backing, whatever the case may be, right? All of these things, they add up and they're hidden costs because you don't necessarily calculate how many mLs of ink you're using for that specific order, but there is a direct cost, even if you can't see it and it's hard to calculate. There is a cost per thing that you sell when it comes to your consumables. So that's a hidden cost that not a lot of people talk about. And finally, the most important one and the biggest one is going to be your materials. If you sell a hoodie, in most cases, if the client isn't bringing you the hoodie, you're sourcing it, right? Every time you have a sale, in most cases in the printing industry, it's directly tied to ink, a material like a hoodie, a t-shirt, whatever the case may be, and all the other things like overhead and that we're going to get into very soon. So that's a big hidden cost, right? It's the majority of your business expense on a yearly basis. It's the actual materials on which you're decorating, which I find super expensive. Even though they're cheap, right? With your suppliers, you probably have really good prices. It is very expensive when you break it down. If you want to make $100, in most cases, you might be spending 50 to 60 to make that $100. So, right, your margins are maybe 40%. If you're super lucky on smaller orders, and on bigger orders, your margin is maybe 20, 10%, 17%, whatever the case may be, after you calculate literally everything like your electricity, your employees, etc. if you're lucky. Margins in printing are super cutthroat. There's a lot of competition. So it's a hidden cost when it comes to your materials and your consumables that not a lot of people talk about. Let's talk about utilities and all the other costs related to that. So if you have a DTF printer, like a commercial one, you need an HVAC system to remove all of the bad air that might be coming out of your oven, right? All the smokes and fumes. So that's a cost. You need electricity, right? To run all of your machine. It can quickly add up, especially if you have different stuff running like automatic heat presses, a DTF printer, embroidery machines, a lot of things that can add your hydro bill very quickly. Anything when it comes to ventilation, stuff like that, there's a lot of costs that you don't necessarily account for, and then you got your new machine and you're like, well, I might spend, a $5,000 extra to connect my electricity because I need special electricity going from my panel all the way to my shop, whatever the case may be, right? There's always those hidden costs when it comes to electricity, new plugs, new bigger plugs, right? When it comes to special equipment or even ventilation, HVAC systems, it's never ending when you get a new piece of equipment. So that's also another hidden cost that can be quite significant. All right, let's talk about labor. Now we can talk about employees, which is a very big hidden cost. Your employees, as you scale, is going to eat up a lot of your margins, especially if you've been doing everything yourself. You're going to see your payroll and you're going to think, wow, how come that employee is making more than me? I'm the one doing 120 hours a week. They're only doing 20 or 40, and I feel like I'm paying them more for what they're actually producing. And that's completely true. As you scale, it's going to be the biggest thing mentally, at least it was for me, to realize that it's the cost of business. Your payroll might be 10 grand a month and you're wondering to yourself, oh my God, I could be pocketing all that money because they're literally not producing for 10 grand a month, right? So it's something to get familiar with, especially as you transition from doing everything yourself and you start hiring. It's a big pivotal moment. It's a hidden cost, and it's something to be aware of. On the flip side, whether you're doing this yourself or with employees, how labor intensive printing is ridiculous. People think you have it super easy. They send you a file and you make magic happen. Most of the time it's a blurry file. You need to pay for vectorization services. You need to convert it into DST. Whether you're doing it yourself or you're paying somebody to do it, there's always a cost associated to it. Whether it's a subscription software, whether it's actually paying somebody else to do the work, whether it's yourself, just even if it's a free software, taking the time to do it, all the setup fees, all like when it comes to like choosing the embroidery thread color, matching Pantone colors in DTF printing, doing file adjustments, it's never ending. Clients are usually pretty self-aware when it comes to setup costs. Some of you might not even be charging the setup cost, but it can be quite expensive when it comes to financially. Also, when it comes to your time invested in setting up a new client, it can be super overwhelming. For us, it's now super long to set up a new client. So that's why we're pivoting more towards corporate contracts for a longer relationship in which the setup time actually makes sense, in which we don't necessarily have to charge it to the client because they're ordering so much volume. Right? For smaller clients, it's now becoming very hard for us to serve them just because the setup time is so intensive. It can take us up to 6 hours to set up a new client because we take pride in our work. We want to make sure when we see the logo in RGB, we convert it to CMYK. We make sure the adjustments are good. We make sure they vectorize their logo. We get their DST format. We make sure that the embroidery thread matches as much as possible. We match the Pantone colors to what our DTF printer is going to produce. And we onboard the new client when it comes to creating a template so the employees can follow. They have mock-ups to follow, where the print goes, with the measurements. It's super long to set up, but once it's set up, client comes back for the same order. It's super streamlined. Employees don't make as many mistakes. We ever go to onboard new people to the company. We have SOPs that they can follow. We have templates that they follow. So there's no more guessing around. There's no more asking Dom, where does this print go? Where do I measure from? It's all there. Very time intensive at the beginning, very labor intensive, a lot of hidden costs when it comes to setting up a new client. But in the long run, if you're doing it properly, it can save you a lot of time in the back end. as you scale. And one of the biggest things, I've been, in the industry for 5+ years, so I've seen a few print shops in my day, and I can speak for myself at least. At the beginning, I had zero inventory, right? I wasn't holding any blanks, but then a client says, oh, I want a mock-up of this. I'm not sure how the mock-up actually looks like is it going to be like the fabric? And don't worry, I'll order you a sample. So then you order samples, you pay for the shipping, and then you're like, oh well, if I'm paying for the shipping, I might as well buy all these other styles that clients are asking me about, and then you store them, and then the reality hits in which most clients are not even coming over to your shop to try on the clothing. So then you just stack it up, and after 5, 10 years, 20 years, you get in a place where you have so much inventory that it's taking so much of your space, which could be used for equipments and scaling, and it's just money that's slowly rotting away. When you think about it, your piece of clothing eventually is going to dry rot. You're going to take it, you're going to stretch it, and it's going to fall into pieces. So holding blank inventory, in my experience, if you're not a wholesaler, a lot of contracts that come back for that specific style, I promise it's the biggest hidden cost you can ever experience. I've seen print shop have so much inventory, it's mentally disgusting, to say the least. I'm in the same position, but I'm no longer sourcing any new inventory, so I'm trying to get rid of everything we have at a discounted price, so we can actually use this space for a more productive workflow. Instead of having all this inventory that we're just sitting on, we just hold inventory now of what we sell on a daily basis, and everything else we're slowly starting to liquidate it. So that's a very big hidden cost. I suggest you stay far away from inventory. If a client really wants to try something on and they want a specific sample, make them pay for the sample, or at best try to get the sample for free from your supplier. Explain that it's a style, whatever the case may be. But find ways, creative ways, in which you don't have to physically store that inventory. That would be my biggest advice. Only caveat to this is if there's a big company that you want to work with and they prefer a certain style, I think it's always worth it to take the risk. You need to be very cautious around that gray zone of holding inventory, in my experience. Shipping and handling, for us, most of our clients pick up or we go deliver, but there's a lot of other fees associated to shipping and handling. Whether you're paying your supplier for shipping or you're shipping out stuff to your clients, there's a lot of shipping in the printing industry. That's something to take into consideration too. I think it's a bigger hidden cost than we make it out to be, because most of our suppliers offer free shipping after a certain amount, but there's still a lot of shipping going on. There's a lot of payments that are happening when it comes to shipping. So when you're paying $4 or $5 for a t-shirt and you have free shipping, be very grateful, because in most cases it's still costing them $100 or more to ship your boxes. Obviously they have accounts and they have better rates, but for you as the consumer that are buying all of these blanks, if you try to ship it out to a customer and you don't have an account with most of these couriers, you'll be paying an arm and a leg because it's heavy. It's very interesting. Shipping can be a big hidden cost, so something to take into consideration too. Software and subscriptions. I think this is going to become more and more relevant in 2026. I think software and subscription is going to be something that we all fall victim to. I have Monday, the CRM. I pay like almost $2,000 a year for that software. I have 2 Shopify stores that I'm paying yearly, like another $600 each, or like another $1,200. I have a Wix website that I'm paying like $400 a year for, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Then we have QuickBooks Online. I'm paying $150 because I have an old QuickBooks file that I'm keeping, and then I have a new one that's like $107 a month. You have your Photoshop, you have your Adobe Illustrator, you have your embroidery software, whatever the case may be. You might have financed it, you might have bought it outright, but most of the things today are becoming subscription services. It's a very, very long road. There's ChatGPT. There's a bunch of different things. If you think of a software, there's most likely a subscription that could be tied into it. Something to take into consideration too, we can't really hide from it anymore, guys. I think more and more companies are going to go that software route and that subscription route just because it's easier for them to scale and actually make more money. So it's a natural evolution of things. Where people can make money, they will. So software is something to take into consideration as you scale and become more reliant on these tools, and you actually need to pay for them if you want your business to keep going smoothly. A big hidden cost is client payments, right? Some of you might be asking your clients for a deposit, 25%, 50%, 100% deposit before you start your work, which is perfect. But in most cases, for those bigger corporations, they are not paying a dime until it's been 30 days, 45 days, 90 days in some cases, and it can be extremely long waiting for your payment. If you don't have enough cash flow, it can completely kill your momentum, putting yourself in debt for a order that hasn't been paid in over 90 days, and just some clients that will never pay in general, which you made a loss on. It's something to take consideration. I don't think it's talked enough about in the printing industry, so I wanted to shine some light on it. It's something to be expected, especially as you scale and work with bigger and bigger companies. They have net payments, so it's important to have money aside for when you have a big order of 20 grand, 40 grand, 100 grand, and you can't access that money for another 90 days. And let's talk about the biggest cost of all. When your employees make mistakes, when you make mistakes, when you hit burnout, and when an employee quits. Let's start with you. Whenever you've been working and burning the candle on both ends, it's been 120 hours a week for a month, and you can't physically produce anymore, you wake up sick, whatever the case may be, and you physically want to tap out, that's the biggest hidden cost in the printing industry. Again, most people, and you can't judge them for that, it looks that way when you're a consumer. If somebody's buying from you and they're buying custom printed stuff, they don't know all the things that are attached. They think they send you a logo, you press a few buttons, and you don't work, right? You're basically like this all day long, relaxing, which is far, far from the truth. You can't be mad at those people. They just don't know any better. They're not in the industry, right? You might have that prejudice around another company or another industry, I should say, in which you think that they're just like this all day, and that could be anywhere far from what the reality is of that company. So in printing, it is very important to take time for yourself, recharge, reassess, develop systems so you can delegate, and just take time for yourself. It sounds corny, it sounds cheesy, but it's super important. If you don't take time to rewind and restructure, take some time for yourself, you're gonna burn out, and you're gonna put yourself in a position where you make more mistakes, it's costing you more money, and the cycle just keeps continuing. Now, when it comes to employees, it's important to have SOPs, it's important to have checklists so they avoid as many mistakes, because they're human like you are. In some cases, in some days, they might not want to be at your shop, so they're just kind of going through the motions, and you can't get mad at them. They're just doing the bare minimum to survive. They're having a rough week. It's not your problem, but what is your problem is documenting everything so the mistakes that they can make are minimal. And if they do make a mistake, they can auto-correct and they can make it better. Some cases, you're not going to be able to avoid mistakes. They're going to be big mistakes that come your way, and that's okay. It's something to account for. It's the hidden cost of printing, and this is where that you readjust, update the SOP, update the checklist, have a serious talk with that employee, and make sure it never happens again as much as you can control. But it's a cost to account for. Whenever an employee quits, you need to have SOPs, so when you onboard a new employee, we're not too reliant on that specific employee, and a new hire should be able to do the job that the other employee was doing in very little time. You shouldn't be over reliant on an employee, because again, when they quit, you don't have access to continuing in production if you don't have anybody doing your stuff. So always make sure you break everything down in smaller steps, you document, so when somebody new joins the team, they can at least start by cutting up DTF transfers, pre-pressing, heat pressing, folding up garments. You have stuff and you have your ways of doing things. So when they're folding the garments and you're super mad because they're folding them super crooked and it's not to your liking, don't blame the employee, blame yourself, because you don't have the documents and the SOPs in place and the checklist so the employee can actually produce how you want them to. They can't read your mind, and even if you tell them, it's not the same thing as showing them and making them refer to that guideline and video whenever they're not sure of what to do next. So I hope you can appreciate all the time I invested in this video when it comes to finding all the hidden costs in the printing industry, whether it be embroidery, DTF printing, sublimation, I don't really care. It can be still applied to your specific industry or your specific garment decoration method. I hope you found value in this video, and if you want to see more videos like this diving deep into all of the hidden costs in the printing industry, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to update this video and make new ones in the near future. Very exciting stuff. We're about to dive deep into the embroidery Tajima TM-Easy embroidery machines and go really deep when it comes to all of the basics to embroidery, how to hoop items, how to make sure your embroideries come out crystal clear and perfectly centered, how to tread your machine, how to deal with common things that can go wrong, and a lot of videos on embroidery that I'm very excited to share with you. As always, if you found this video somewhat insightful, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. This was Dom from Whole Printing Inc. Make a print you'll never forget.